Bino says hi, by the way. I think he was wanting to come. He wouldn't say it, but well, we go on stage at 4:30 in the Woodlands today.
Today?
Yeah, load ends at 1.
You're playing in the Woodlands tonight?
We're at Repsol, the oil company. We're playing our Christmas party.
Is it private? It's private.
It's a private deal.
Damn.
So they're there now, actually.
Okay.
And setting up all my
Well, as they should. And I want to give you I do want to take a serious moment as we're rolling here. I want to give you a proper introduction, man. It's not too often that I get folks of your caliber to join me on a Sunday night, Will. I know we've known each other a long time, but I want to do this. Tonight, Sunday sounds like Texas on 100.3 The Bull and the free Audacy app. My featured artist is one of the most decorated modern Texas country artists and musicians, stacking 4 consecutive TCMA Songwriter of the Year wins, y'all, from 2018 to 2021. He has been nominated for Male Vocalist of the Year, I think, every year since 2018. He's had a Country Band of the Year nomination, and probably more than I'm missing. Will Carter brings consistency, craftsmanship, and a clean-cut, radio-ready sound that has made you and made him a staple here on the Texas country circuit. The Lone Star scene wouldn't be the same without you. It is an absolute honor, pleasure, and a privilege of mine to have you in studio today, Mr. Will.
Hey, man, we need to bring you to all of our shows.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that.
That's a good intro.
Yeah.
Hey, you missed Country Single of the Year last year, and I know
I knew I missed
We'll probably
one.
talk about that, but that was actually a pivotal moment, just because that was kind of the rebrand of from Will Carter, the solo artist, using session players like everybody else does, to the Will Carter Band writing and recording together as a band like they used to do back in the old days. You remember that? Where you go to the studio and they press record and you did what you played? So
let's talk about that. What made you decide to go down that path?
Man, there was a song.
After how many years as a solo artist?
So 2016 was the first single that went out, first, EP and all that as a solo artist. It was 2021, so that's 5 years of doing that. And what happened was there was a song called "Wrong Side of Town" that I had been playing an original tune for, honestly about 7 years, because I had it before I had even gone on as a solo artist. I was in a kind of a country duo with a girl, and we were playing it back then. And so the fans knew it, the crowd knew the song. And so fast forward, 7 years later, and I've got the band I do today. This is in 2021. My radio promoter at the time, publicist, management, book, everybody said, that's the song that you need to go to radio with next, is this "Wrong Side of Town" tune. I'm like, yeah, man, I love that song. We've been playing it forever. It's done well with it, won competitions and things with it. Well, I tried to have it produced, and the producer used session players, out of Nashville or LA or whatever. And what they did was good, right? I mean, that's what they do. They're good. But it wasn't what we had been doing for 7 years, right? So it sounded like a different song. So I tried a different producer. I tried like really hand-holding the production. Hey, this is this riff and da-da-da. And it just never sounded like what the song sounded like, right? So I couldn't put out a different song and call it that song. So the guys that I'm with now have all done session work. And, typically it's a different skill set, right? There's the live performance skill set. You're a live player, or you're a session player, and some people do both, but they're definitely different skill sets. And all the guys in my band do both, have done both. So I said, you know what, let's just try it like they did in the old days, right? And press record. And so we went in, recorded the song. Of course, it sounded like it sounds live, right? And I loved it. I mean, the sound was us, right? And there's this kind of cohesiveness that you get as a band, and this chemistry that you get when you play together every week, and you're on the road together, and and you're goofing around in the goofing around on the bus and all that kind of stuff, and then that comes out on stage, but it also comes out in the studio. I mean, you can hear it, you can feel it. Like, it was just, I was blown away by it. So that song was really why we said, you know what, this is how we're gonna do the rest of them, right? So we recorded the whole rest of the last album, which was the Had It All Wrong album, and that was mostly songs that I had written. And then one night we were at the studio, and we're just, we were done recording for the day. And we're like, hey, let's write. And so we were flipping through my hook book. I call it my digital hook book. It's on my notes file. And Dylan was like, hey man, Had Me at Goodbye, that's pretty cool. Let's write that. So we wrote Had Me at Goodbye. And that was the first song that we wrote together. Woke up the next morning, recorded it. And that was the one that won Country Single of the Year last year. So for this new album that's now slowly leaking out single by single that comes out in March, every song on there we wrote together as a band, and then we recorded together.
And I noticed on the artwork that you did put WCB, the Will Carter Band.
Yeah, on purpose.
I love that.
Yeah, because it's really, this is the first one that it's a different sound, right? It's, but it's our sound, and it's what's cool about it is when you go hear us live, it sounds like it does on the radio. It sounds like it does on the album, right? Rather than sometimes you hear a song and then the band learns what those session players did, and it's not quite the same. So here it is. I mean, that's literally what you're hearing live is what's going on in the studio, and because of that, because of the the rebrand, the fact that we're writing together and recording together, and this is our sound and what we're doing, felt it was appropriate to title this one Will Carter Band.
For sure, man. That's exciting, dude. And you have one of the best fiddle players, period.
I like to call him an electric violinist.
Yeah, well, it is more of like, I guess he has always done that, but shout out Bino.
He's unique. There's nobody like him.
He's one of the best. He's one of my favorite people. So you worked with Chad Malden on this new project?
We did. So there's 11 songs on the album. We did. So Chad's got that awesome studio.
Yeah, Gladewater.
In Gladewater,
yeah.
Yes. And it's it's an old radio station. There's these boot marks on the wood on the wall from Johnny Cash tapping his boot while he's in there doing an interview and playing Folsom Prison, I'm sure. So there's just magic in the air there, right?
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the hall, it's an apartment fully built out with, bathroom and shower and tub and all that stuff, and kitchen and dining room and a couple bedrooms. So it's perfect. So we would go there for like a week, and we were recording, 4 or 5 songs or whatever. And that's where we were at when we said, hey, that night we're just hanging out, sitting in the kitchen, drinking beer and whatever, and like, let's write this song. And so we wrote it, and we're like, Chad, we're not going home. We got to record this before we leave. So we literally recorded from like 10 to 12 that next morning before leaving the Had Me at Goodbye tune. And then for this whole album, we went there with 5 songs done. We were staying for, I think, 4 days or 5 days. And we said, okay, we're going to try to write 3 while we're here and record all 8 before we leave. That was our goal. So we recorded all day, and then that night we wrote 3 songs. So we woke up the second day, we had all 8 songs, and then spent the next couple of days, laying it all down. And then we did 3 with Trent Willman at Wire Road in Houston. One, our current single that's out now, Holding On. We did that one. We co-wrote that with Trent, and then flew him down here and went to Wire Road and did 3 with him. So.
Talk to me about the song Water Tower. We just put that video on Texas Country Network. Cool video, great performance video of you and the band. Where did you shoot it, though? That property was pretty cool, too.
It was in Needville. Yeah,
okay.
There's a place you can go. I guess they, I don't know, they charge people to come out there and ride horses or something. I don't know. Our director set it up. But, yeah, it was pretty cool. I have 12 or 13 acres in Sealy.
Okay.
That backs up to 12,000 that's government-owned. And it's been that way since I was born. And so I've always had a 12,000 acre backyard. And so, I live in Katy now, but I've got my 2-year-old son, and I've got storage containers out there with, the side-by-side and 4-wheeler and stuff. And so on the weekends, we go out there and got a 12,000 acre playground, right?
Yeah,
so
that's
he
awesome.
loves it. I love it just because that's how I grew up, doing that all day, every day. Because I was homeschooled and lived on a farm and all that. That's what we did. So when we were getting ready to go to the studio, stay with Chad for that week, we were trying to come up with hooks and stuff because we knew we were going to be trying to come up with 3 songs while we were there. And that was one that hit me. I had this hook that was Water Tower with no name. It's a song that's a town that's so small, right? The water towers don't have a name on them.
Right.
And then it had been spending so much time out there that kind of driving back and forth, kind of jotted down the melody and a couple, lines for it. And then that first night when we were in Gladewater, we wrote everybody's names down on papers, and we drew names and paired up 2 and 2. So it ended up being Bino and Carlos, our bass player, in one room. And then Dylan, our guitar player, and Jacob, our drummer, in another room. And then my job was to bounce back and forth. So they were each writing a song, and I would bounce back and forth and kind of, butt in or whatever. So we wrote those. They each wrote one, and then we went to bed, and I couldn't sleep. So I ended up sitting there and writing Water Tower. And then it was really cool because we had GoPros in Chad's studio, and then we had a couple girls there with cameras that were just kind of following us around. And so we wake up the next morning. We actually have the whole thing on camera. Me going, okay, guys, all right, check this out. And so you've got Dylan and everybody kind of in a circle, and I'm just kind of singing the melody and running through the chorus, and they're like, okay, and they start putting their parts together. You literally watch the song come alive right there in the studio, and they're like, okay, cool. Now let's go record it.
Yeah, I love that, man. Are you gonna put that moment out? And are you gonna?
I'm trying to get our social media dude over here who's the video editor and all that kind of stuff. He's got the footage, so we'll see what he comes up with. If it sucks, it's Awesome's fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's definitely
sounds like the beginning of a documentary for this album or something.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking, right? So we're doing a single a month. Started last month with Water Tower. Dropped the music video to it. We did a sessions video for the next 5. For the next 4 singles. So we're doing 5 singles total, and then we'll drop the full album in March. So 1 a month, and then the album drops. And so I'm thinking after the album, we'll do like a making of the music kind of thing, or because we had those GoPros running, and we've got a lot of footage of us doing the writing there. So we'll get some kind of that behind the scenes kind of stuff, the making of the album and stuff.
Yeah, I'd love to check that out, man.
Get that out.